IVM.
Hey everybody, welcome to another week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you are not following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Paytm Money. As we head into week 4 of lockdown, we're doing our best to make sure that we maintain our schedules and try and get you as many of the podcasts that you're used to listening as we possibly can, but beg your indulgence if there are any slippages in schedules and times. With that, let's just get on with your show.
Hello and welcome to the Habit Coach Podcast, the bite-sized podcast filled with quick and easy, actionable habits. Remember, great habits create that awesome life. I'm Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach. Today's fun fact of the day has to do with flirting. Did you know that flirting has been outlawed in some cities? Back in 1902, flirting was outlawed in New York State. There was a big anti-flirting movement that was started by the women in that area. The law spoke about men making suggestive eyes at women. The fine for such behavior could be up to $500. Can you imagine that? The problem with this started way back when men would get drunk and tease women suggestively. It was this kind of behavior that the bill tried to stop. Instead, it got it all wrong and became an anti-flirting bill instead. Over the years, flirting has had all sorts of meanings and connotations. Some people think flirting is evil. It is bad. Flirting is the same as having loose morals, or that flirting is always sexual in nature. I remember in college, when we called someone a flirt, it was said as a negative. If anyone called me a flirt, I would take it personally and be upset about it. It's because of the way society teaches us flirting. Very often, flirting is mistaken to mean two things. The first is eve-teasing, and the second is propositioning sex or making an advance at someone. It is because of these two associations that flirting has got such a bad rap. The truth is very different, as you will see going ahead in this podcast. The other big misconception is that flirting is only for single people. I disagree with this strongly. Flirting is as important for loyal couples as it is for single people. Very often relationships get into a routine. They feel less special and get monotonous and boring. Flirting is a lovely way to reignite that spark, make the other person feel special and strengthen that relationship bond. And this is the key to flirting the right way, the effective way. Flirting should be all about the other person. Flirting is about making the other person feel good about themselves. It is a show of kindness. It is about making them feel special and using imaginative excitement to believe in themselves more. It is sharing what the most attractive quality about the other person is, magnifying it, and then dancing with it. Hence, flirting is very different from seduction. Seduction is about increasing your own qualities to the extent that the other is drawn to you. Seduction is all about building yourself up. Flirting is about building the other person up. Good flirting is without evil intent. It is not about breaking hearts. It is about creating an aura of magic where the other person feels accepted. After all, a deep human truth is that we all want to be accepted for what we are, our flaws included. Science is proving that flirting has a very deep benefit for human beings. In an old relationship, flirting brings back that new crush or new love feelings. Between strangers, flirting helps create a bond very quickly. Flirting actually reduces stress and improves the immune system. It releases dopamine and norepinephrine, which makes us feel good. It gives us that tingle. The art of flirting entails three things: body language, empathy, and creativity. Body language, for example, could be a twinkle in your eye, a smile, or the tilt of your head. These are all tools that you can practice with. Empathy is all about taking the other person's emotions and feelings into account, understanding how you can make them feel good about themselves. And finally, creativity. Calling someone hot or beautiful is not flirting. Saying hello dear is not flirting. It is creepy. Instead, using a creative way to joke about a situation or using a creative question that the other person would not have heard before, that is flirting. Think about compliments that go beyond looks. In today's world of wanting things quickly, this over-sexualized world, a world filled with distractions, where we do not take our eyes off the phone and look around, flirting is a way to break the clutter. It is beneficial for both you and the person you're flirting with. It helps connect at a purely human level. It is as important for single people as well as people in a relationship. And for whatever gender you are, flirting, in a sense, is to be human. So your simple habit to flirting starts by seeing the good in the other person. Things that the person might not have realized about themselves. Then share it with them in a creative, interesting, and fun way. Remove the idea that flirting is bad and only about sex. Instead, think about flirting as the art of making someone love themselves more.
So start these habits and share with us your progress using the hashtag #TheHabitCoach. If you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcasts on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I am Ashdin Doc on Twitter and Instagram. You can find lots more information on my website, awesome180.com, or check out different content on my YouTube channel called AWESOME180. That's Awesome180.
This is the amazing story of something awesome. Once Chuck decided to start a podcast, and so he did. The end. Okay, that was a crappy story. But I've got some really cool stories over at my new show, The Origin of Things. On this podcast, I look at the stories of how brands came into being and sometimes evolved out of quite unexpected circumstances. And to make it really fun, I reveal the name of the brand and sometimes a category only at the very end. The show is 5 to 7 minutes per episode and perfect for trivia junkies and brand nerds, especially those with short attention spans. New episodes out every Wednesday on IVM Podcasts app or website, or any podcast app or site that you happen to prefer. End of story, they lived happily ever after.
Advertising is dead. Yep, you heard me right. Advertising is dead. We're all in the content business now. Let's not call it news, TV, radio, etc., etc. It's all content, and we're in the middle of this weirdly exciting phase where all the borders and lines that have been drawn over decades has been swept away by this lovely thing called the internet. We're a show where we don't dwell on just the stuff that is now, but rather the wider stuff about advertising, media, content, and the whole goddamn circus surrounding it. Tune in every Tuesday for our weekly unboxing of the mystery box we used to call advertising. I'm Varun Dugirala, co-founder and content chief at The Glitch, and this is my new podcast, Advertising is Dead.